Hey, besties, welcome back. We're going to be doing solo episodes here for the next couple of ones because I'm on travel, but that doesn't mean that we stop studying. So let's just get right into it. All right, so we're going to start with the MBE, the multiple choice. We've got a problem. See what our first question is. An employer, a citizen of state A, sued an employee, a citizen of state B, in state B state court. The one count complaint sought an injunction that would prevent the employee from accepting a job that the employer claimed would have violated a valid covenant not to compete. The employee answered the complaint in which he demanded a jury trial pursuant to the U.S. Constitution's Seventh Amendment. Is the court likely to grant the employee's demand for a jury trial? A. No, because the Seventh Amendment has not been incorporated against the states. B. No, because the Seventh Amendment only applies to suits at common law, and this is a suit in equity, given that it seeks an injunction. C, yes, because the Seventh Amendment only applies to suits at common law, and this suit involves the interpretation of a contract. D, yes, because injunctive relief has more than de minimis value under the Seventh Amendment. Hmm, let's see. Okay, obviously, we're dealing with the Seventh Amendment. There's a lot of every single answer choice addresses that. I am leaning towards A because I remember reading somewhere in the GOAT tips and tricks that's about Seventh Amendment not being incorporated against the states. The employee answered the complaint in which they demand a jury trial pursuant to the U.S. Constitution, Seventh Amendment. Yeah, I I believe for I believe that the Seventh Amendment constitutional application that's for federal courts. I don't believe it's required for state courts for or civil cases. So my locked in answer is going to be A. No, because the Seventh Amendment has not been incorporated against the states. Let's see. All right. A. No, because the Seventh Amendment has not been incorporated against the states. Here's the explanation. A is correct. The Seventh Amendment preserves the right to a jury trial in all suits at common law where the amount in controversy exceeds $20 in federal courts only. State law determines whether parties have a right to a jury in state courts. B is incorrect. The Seventh Amendment applies to suits at federal common law. This is a state case, so the Seventh Amendment is not applicable. C is incorrect. As stated above, state law determines whether parties have a right to a jury in state courts. D is incorrect. Even if the injunctive relief sought combined legal and equitable claims, this is a state case and the Seventh Amendment does not apply. The bottom line, the Seventh Amendment civil jury trial right applies only in federal court. It has not been incorporated against the states. All right, so my instincts were right there. Whew, could have got a couple extra points there on the bar. All right, a motivational one. Break up the week before the bar. Okay, so that part is not motivational, but we're going to end on a positive note with it. And this person did pass with a 307. So this is a foreign trained attorney who was studying part time for 6 months in the United States. And they were, so they were studying in the US for a partner that they were planning to move for. Wow, dedication. 10 days before the exam, they broke up. That's very sad. And also, like, mentally can throw you if you're trying to focus right before a big test. So she was alone in the foreign country. She got 76% of the way through Themis. She didn't have a support system, but her Reddit community rallied behind her. And then she came back to update the thread to say she passed with a 307. Her words at the top of the page. I am proud of myself for walking away from a bad relationship, even though it was a terrible timing. It was definitely for the best. And other commenters like got in the chat, supported her. Some talked about how they had loved ones who passed away during that same exam period, but rallied through. So there's a lot of people who go through heartbreaking things, family tragedies, health hiccups along the way, and people still pass, or sometimes they fail and they try again. So, like, I hope that's motivating for you that no matter if you have something tragic happening in your life right now, that there's still hope, there's still a path forward. And even if you have to take a pause and come back another cycle, there's absolutely nothing wrong with that. And don't let anybody tell you otherwise. All right, so our next one. Third time's a charm. And so this person's scores went from a 246 to a 254 and then a 293. And this is from the Go Bar Prep side. This person withdrew from the bar multiple times between 2001 to 2026 due to illness and deaths in the family. The first time they used solely Themis and got to a 246. The second time they felt more confident, but they ended up blanking on the trust essay. I kind of wonder if it's the same one I did, J25. That is literally the same essay where my brain was like, what? Blank, move on to another one. This person scored a 254 on that essay, 6 points from passing. I again relate to this person. Not going to say my exact point difference, but I was pretty close and similar feeling like you're just so close yet so far. And then the third attempt, February 2026, they used GOAT mega threads, personal notes on Themis outlines, bar prep hero for the MBE, and they woke up one Monday morning and saw that they passed with a 293, means that they can practice in any jurisdiction in the US. And this person even got a comment from GOAT himself, Stu Goat 8671, and he put, "You absolutely crushed it, and you're a lawyer now." And then the poster replied, "Thanks." So another situation where somebody who failed a couple of times, life circumstances, but they didn't give up and ended up passing with a high enough score to practice anywhere in any of the UBE districts in the United States. So I hope these stories were motivating, gave you a good laugh, and I can't wait to join you guys next time when I'm back into bar prep land again. Good luck, keep up the good work, and I'll see you here soon.
Thanks so much for listening. If you found this even remotely useful, please share with another fellow bar exam retaker, and don't forget to subscribe to get notified when new episodes drop. See you next week.